we're back and the same place. So before I start this video, I just want to say I hope everyone voted today or has voted in the past week. If you have the right to vote, you need to let your voice be heard, and everyone voted, and we'll see what historic event happens today. Get started. So How to Get Away with Murder is almost ending. We'll be seeing the last episode this Thursday night at 9 o'clock. So let me just tell you what has happened in the last episode. As we left off last time, we told you about, well, I told you about how Wes and Laurel had finally gotten together. Of course, I say this from a fan from the side that loves Laurel and Wes together, of course. So they are still romantic with each other without telling no one. Which, what does that remind you of? Michaela and Asher kind of thing. So same thing going on with Wes and Laurel. So they had a case. So a pro bono case came up, very big, very shocking. And Laurel and Wes said, oh, we're gonna go interview some people, go talk to some people about this case. They didn't do much talking. They went back to Laurel's place, and you know what happened. But who else was in the room? Frank! Frank was in her apartment. And he saw them, kind of, but they didn't see him. You know, Frank is very good at hiding. So Frank is officially back, and we know some stuff is going to go on, because something always goes on when Frank's around. Another shocking thing that happened was that Annalise has been going down the spiraling staircase for this entire season, and finally the Keating Five has spoken up to her when she literally had no idea what to do. When Wes told the police that he saw his half-brother across the street, of course he did not tell the police that it was his half-brother, the one that supposedly shot his biological dad, because he knew it was Frank. So Wes lied. Laurel, Annalise was kind of upset about it, and she kind of hid the truth from him, saying, oh, everything's gonna be okay, don't worry about it. But then things do get worried when Wes's half-brother has an alibi. And everyone goes to Annalise telling her, so what are we gonna do now? Wes is in trouble. You're just a horrible human being and you have ruined our lives. So Annalise gets a chair, sits and says, just tell me everything you want to say, get it off your chest. Michaela, Asher, Connor, Laurel. Spit out everything they have been holding on since season 1. The only person that did not speak was Wes. All he said was, you know how I feel about you. Of course, none of the other Keating 4 know the truth and the backstory of Annalise and Wes. Also mentioned that Oliver went on a first date with some new guy after he broke up with Connor, and well, I wasn't very happy about it. I was like, no, I can't see Oliver with no one else other than Connor. And well, they've been talking, texting and everything. They went on their other date, and things were about to get under the sheets when Oliver tells this new guy that he is positive. Of course, he explains to him everything. The guy is obviously, and for some, not interested anymore. He's like doubting now. So he tells him, I can't deal with this right now, and technically breaks up the almost starting relationship. And so later on, Oliver's really upset, of course, And Laura invites her class for drinks since she worked the pro bono case, and she won, and she got an A on her final. She's like, okay, everyone, let's go get drinks. The only people that do not go is Connor and Wes. So Oliver goes, he gets drunk, and he goes over to Connor, who is staying at Michaela's apartment, and tells him everything that happened with the other guy. He's like, I miss you, Connor, and then the happy moment happens. Connor and Oliver kiss, they make out, and they go into Michaela's room, which is very funny because Oliver's like, oh my god, no, Michaela's gonna notice, and because you know how Michaela is. The relationship is Bonnie and Frank that have this far. After Frank sees that Laura has moved on, he goes to see Bonnie, but Bonnie, knowing I'm not the first door you knocked, he went to see Laura, and I know it, and she kicks him out. This is the first time that we see Bonnie really taking a charge of herself, that respect that she deserves. So she kicks Frank out. She literally yells in the top of her lungs with her biggest attitude and biggest woman power to not bother her, that she's no one's second choice. So on that side, very good for Bonnie. It was about time. But then the bad happens. Since Laura did go out to drink, she's in her apartment. She is talking to Wes. Wes did not go, and he just stayed studying for the big final. And he's talking on the phone with Laura and everything. And right when they hang up, Laura tells him, I love you. Oh my god. She said she loved them, and she just said it first. So she just hung up on Wes. Like, she didn't even give him a time, like, okay, me too, or nothing, like. But she wasn't alone in her apartment. Someone else heard. Yes, you guessed it right. Frank. Frank overheard Laura telling Wes she loved him. So Frank is pissed. He's mad. He's upset. He's full of emotions. And he tells her, I don't know what I'm going to do if I have to stay alone tonight. And that's how they end the episode, on this crazy cliffhanger. And now to tell you who is not dead, and tell you about a little bit more about Laurel's condition in the hospital. Taken to the hospital in critical condition, and she's pregnant, which I am still saying it has to be Wes's baby. There's no way in the world it could be Frank's. Laura wakes up and starts freaking out, of course, and the first person she sees is Maggie, Wes's ex-girlfriend, who is a nurse in the hospital where Laura's at. She asks Maggie, not in words, by hand gestures, to let her borrow her pen. And the person she asks for is Wes. Then we go to the next scene, and it is Wes. Wes is also alive. Find out who burned down Annalise's house. Personally, I actually have thought about, what if Annalise burned down her own house? She tried to get rid of Frank when in one of her drunken nights, and by accident Laura was there, and for some other weird reason Nate was there, and Nate is the one that's dead, and Frank is gone, and I don't know. This is just me making up this crazy story on top of my head. So until next time, and by next time we will find out who, by next time we'll know who is under the sheets. Bye guys.